Welcome to AAUP-WSU's summary of the administration's imposed contract and AAUP-WSU's recommendations for January 2019. The purpose of this video is to explain in detail the administration's imposed contract and to present AAUP-WSU's recommendation regarding a strike. So let's begin with a little bit of background. On January 4th, 2019, the Board of Trustees voted to impose a last best offer, also known as an imposed contract. The imposed contract would be overwhelmingly negative for faculty, students, alumni, and the community. This video will summarize each article in which the administration and board imposed their language. Keep in mind that the board's, quote, resolution is not the contract that they are imposing. So if all you read was the resolution, that's not what they are imposing on us. Please read the actual imposed contract that begins on page 6 of this document. So let's talk about AAUP-WSU's recommendation. AAUP-WSU is a member-driven organization. Therefore, the Executive Committee has decided that the RCMs should have another opportunity to authorize a strike, just to make sure that this is what everybody wants. RCMs will vote on strike authorization beginning Tuesday, January 8th, and I'll have more on that later in the video. The unanimous recommendation of the AAUP-WSU Executive Committee is to reject the imposed contract by authorizing a strike. AAUP-WSU wants to emphasize that now is the time to take a stand, because if the faculty does not strike, everything that the administration and board has imposed will likely remain imposed forever. When CBA negotiations start again in January 2020, the imposed contract, this contract, will be the default language, and default language takes power to change. So let's take a detailed look at that imposed contract. We're going to start with workload. Okay. The administration and board nullified our workload agreements altogether. Okay. So they have now claimed the right to assign workloads to faculty in any way that they want. Faculty spread thinner hurts the quality of education our students receive. Do not be fooled by the administration and board's suggestion that they will be guided by a policy of the Senate. Remember, in 2012, the Senate passed a workload policy for NTE faculty, and the administration promptly rejected it and imposed their own. That's why the NTE faculty unionized. Also, when Wright State converted to semesters, the administration and board would have imposed a higher teaching load for TET BUFMs as well. For all BUFMs, only our signed MOUs protect us against arbitrary and capricious workload assignments, so keep that in mind. The next article is merit pay. The administration and board has imposed language that would give deans and chairs total discretion to allocate merit pay to anyone having a 2.0 overall annual evaluation score, which is a standard that's met by nearly all BUFMs. Transparency is therefore eliminated, and merit pay, which now may mean one-time bonuses, will be awarded arbitrarily. So, under these circumstances, who's going to question or protest a decision of their chair or dean? Who's going to file a grievance? Okay. Also remember, your next chair or dean may not be someone that you trust. So, in practice, academic freedom is at risk. So, combined with the elimination of the workload MOU, subjective merit pay empowers administrators to assign more service as well as more teaching. This, in turn, will diminish the quality of our work in those two categories and reduce scholarly productivity. BUFMs will also find it more difficult to meet standards for promotion. Worse, the impact on our students and our university's reputation will be incalculable. Students will not be able to receive the individualized attention that they need. The reputation of any university depends on the research output of the faculty, and the value of a Wright State education decreases if the teaching and service load of the faculty increases. All right, The next article we're going to look at is NTE promotion and job security. The imposed contract means that NTE BUFMs not already on a continuing appointment cannot attain one unless they have, quote, 9 or more years of service and have been appointed or promoted to the rank of senior lecturer or clinical assistant professor. In fact, no new instructor will be eligible for a continuing appointment for at least 12 years. The old CBA provided continuing appointments after 6 years. This immediately affects at least 60 of our colleagues who now face very indefinite futures. If we let this stand, our union will have sold out 60 plus current and all future NTE colleagues. Additionally, the administration will have even less incentive to hire TET faculty. Altogether, this will make shared governance and academic freedom more tenuous for all because faculty vulnerable to job loss cannot be expected to challenge poor decision-making of the administration or board. Remember, the fact finder made clear that these provisions for merit pay and NTE job security were not necessary for the financial stability of WSU. These changes represent a clear power grab by the administration and board. The next article is healthcare. The imposed contract gives us the healthcare plan imposed on the staff, which is the worst among public universities in Ohio. It also permits the administration and board to impose additional changes with only 60 days notice. It takes away our right to bargain over healthcare. So, overall, BUFMs will immediately suffer an effective pay cut of more than 4%. Premiums, deductibles, and out-of-pocket maximums will increase significantly for everyone. So, let's take a look at some examples. For a faculty member earning $75,000 with a family on the 80-20 plan, monthly premiums will increase from $326 to $472. This is an increase of 45%. Yearly deductibles will increase from $500 to $1,600. This is an increase of 220%. Also, the yearly out-of-pocket maximum will increase from $3,500 to $8,000. This is an increase of 128%. Next, for a family on the HDHP plan, monthly premiums will increase from $230 to $416, which is an increase of 80%. Yearly out-of-pocket maximums will increase from $4,000 to $6,000, which is an increase of 50%. And the administration's annual contribution to your health savings account will decrease from $2,000 to $1,000. This is a decrease of 50%. In both examples, if your spouse is on your plan, you will also pay a surcharge of $68 a month, even if your spouse is not eligible for health coverage elsewhere. Prescription coverage will be much worse too, up to $200 per prescription for a specialty drug if it's covered at all. So, for our current coverage, see this website, and for the imposed plans, see this website. The next article is furloughs. The imposed contract would empower the administration or board to declare an unlimited number of, quote, cost savings days. We cannot measure how much income you might lose because the board's recommendation that cost savings days be limited to 2 per semester is not in the imposed contract. Since the imposed contract requires that cost saving days be implemented, quote, in a manner that does not interrupt academic functions, you will be forced to work without pay. The next article is summer teaching assignments. The imposed contract gives the administration the right to deny summer teaching to any BUFM without explanation. They could assign, therefore, all summer teaching to adjunct faculty. The next article is raises. I suspect you know this already, but there is no money to offset the losses that we will take in healthcare, furloughs, and summer teaching assignments, never mind the real cut in pay due to inflation. No raises. The next article is early retirement. AAUP-WSU does not object in principle to a program of this nature, but the administration and board included no provisions to prevent this program from being abused by the use of retirees to delay the appointment of new BUFFMs or to eliminate existing BUFFM positions entirely. So those were the articles. Let's talk a little bit about the voting information. For the above reasons, it is the unanimous recommendation of the AAUP-WSU Executive Committee that members vote to reject the imposed contract by authorizing a strike. Voting will open on Tuesday, January 8th at 7 p.m. You will receive a SurveyMonkey ballot by email. If you have not received that ballot, please make sure that you check your spam folders to make sure that you get it. We will also have a chapter meeting of all RCMs to discuss this matter on Friday, January 11th at 11 a.m. The location is to be announced, so check your email later this week. This meeting will take place before the semester begins to ensure that teaching and other university duties will not prohibit your participation. Do everything you can to come to this meeting. It's very important. Also, in terms of the strike notice, on Monday, January 7th, AAUP-WSU's attorney will file a formal strike notice with the Ohio State Employment Relations Board. This prompt filing will provide us great flexibility in timing a strike, which will of course be contingent upon the results of the vote. Also, our attorney will file an unfair labor practice charge against the administration and board because they failed to negotiate before imposing a new contract. As always, AAUP-WSU is ready to negotiate. If you need more information, please contact AAUP by going to AAUP-WSU's website at aaup-wsu.org, by contacting your department liaison, and of course by attending the chapter meeting on Friday, January 11th.